The crowds returned with blinking Santa hats and flashing candy canes as the 89th annual lighting of the world's most famous Christmas tree returned to its usual ceremony. At Rockefeller Center in New York City Wednesday night, a 79-foot-tall, 12-ton Norway spruce was eventually the centerpiece of a 2-hour wind-up that included performances from Connick Jr., Carrie Underwood, Brad Paisley and other artists. As usual, Christmas in Rockefeller Center was hosted by NBC News Today Show co-anchors Hoda Kotb, Savannah Guthrie, Craig Melvine, and Al Roker, likely bundled in the 46-degree weather. Joe and Jill Biden's first White House Christmas theme is inspired by people they met across the U.S. The festive event, some of it pre-recorded, attempted to display normalcy, with unmasked fans seen crowded around various stages near the landmark building in Midtown Manhattan. Attendees were required to be fully vaccinated. Last year, the public could not attend the lighting ceremony due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This year's 85-year-old tree was adorned with more than 50,000 multicolored LED lights strung over 5 miles of wire. Hundreds of solar panels atop one of the Rockefeller Center buildings will help power the lights throughout the season. Travel news and tips. During the NBC broadcast, celebrities including Paul Rudd offered pre-taped bits to solicit donations for Red Nose Day, which raises money to end child poverty, while the musical guests shared fond holiday memories. In keeping with tradition, the iconic Radio City Rockettes high-kicked with dazzling poise and ushered in the switch flip of brightness. Here are some musical moments from the annual celebration. Brad Paisley. The gregarious country star ripped through a fiddle-flecked rendition of the 1965 Buck Owens country classic, Santa Looked a Lot Like Daddy. Paisley spiked the song with a few of his trademark electric guitar licks, including a segue into Jingle Bells during his solo. Pentatonics. The Ace a cappella group, which has found a solid niche in Christmas music, offered a sprightly We Need a Little Christmas from last year's holiday album of the same name. Showcasing their usual vocal magic, the song was steered by Matt Sally's bass vocals and Kirsten Maldonado's sweet tones. The quintet also performed Paul McCartney's Wonderful Christmas Time from their latest holiday offering, Evergreen. Paul McCartney reveals crush on Queen, how John Lennon gleefully quit Beatles. Harry Connick Jr. With a jaunty knit cap on his head, Connick and his big band rolled through It Must Have Been Old Santa Claus, a fan favorite from his first Christmas album in 1993. Connick handled piano duties while his band, all donning Santa hats and red scarves, added brass and swing. The singer, who happens to be starring as Daddy Warbucks in NBC's Annie Live on Thursday, returned later in the show for a brass-laden Silent Night, which also featured him playing a harpsichord. Billy Joel resumes Madison Square Garden residency. Rob Thomas. Bouncing in his red plaid jacket, Thomas debuted Small Town Christmas from his new Christmas album, Something About Christmas Time. In the innocuous pop rock song, the Matchbox 20 frontman opined about the pleasures of driving down the long roads where anything is possible and reminded that we all need some comfort right now. Be good to each other, he told the crowd at song's end. Returning later for a second song, Thomas was joined by Paisley for Santa Don't Come Here Anymore, which was a bit more honky-tonk than we're used to hearing from the guy behind Smooth. Carrie Underwood. Beamed in for a pre-recorded performance from Nashville, the ever-elegant Underwood unfurled Let There Be Peace, her original anthem calling for unity from her 2020 Christmas album, My Gift. A backdrop of a crackling fireplace and a tree farm worth of lighted pines was shared by a gospel choir spread across a double-sided staircase. Their presence added heft to Underwood's escalating vocals as she dove into the lyrics with fervor. For her second song, Underwood opted for hushed simplicity with an appropriately contemplative Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Mickey Guyton. The breakthrough country star continued her well-deserved moment. She recently paid tribute to Tina Turner at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony and is nominated for 3 Grammys in January, with a faithfully fun version of Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. Knee-high red boots capped off Guyton's festive look, while her voice soared. Her version of Oh Holy Night was equally potent and filled with impressive vocal runs. Jose Feliciano and Cnco. Assuming his perch on a stool, acoustic guitar cradled on his knee, Feliciano rolled out his 51-year-old Christmas sing-along. Unfortunately, the young men of Cnco looked as if they were having a hard time hearing themselves and weren't always in sync with Feliciano, or each other, leading to a painful delivery that was at least mercifully short.